being a vessel of this dynasty, not the first you've been a part of, but what were those emotions for you, putting the medal around your neck and really celebrating that 8th straight gold medal?
Yeah, one of the coolest things about the Olympics is it's really truly about the athletes. And I say that to say that the coaches don't get medals. So I've not had a medal around my neck just yet. I will be getting a medal. But what was it like? I think, you know, the journey is always, it's always a special one in the ways that are probably more off the court than on the court. In terms of the relationships and being able to see every morning, be able to see Mila and her family and their interaction, and you know, people commenting, you know, like that, how Mila is greeted and how she wants to see Fee after a game, and you know, those are the memories that you have that makes it really, really special. And I think in terms of the coaching aspect of it, you know, we all make sacrifices. The players make sacrifices, the coaches make sacrifices, and we all try to find a space where we get to be ourselves, and that's the greatest challenge. And I got a message from Steve Kerr after the game, who was the men's national team coach, that said, "Welcome to the Thank God Club." And that's what it is, you know, it's like either relief or misery, you know, when you're a coach. So, you know, obviously really thrilled to have a chance to, you know, add another gold medal to the, you know, to the sports dynasty that is USA Basketball.
Fee, you go from having a smaller role, your first Olympics, to now one of the main contributors to this gold medal winning team. When you knew that final shot was a 2, that you guys had clinched that gold medal, what were the emotions that you were flooded with?
Just a lot of excitement. I never thought it was a 3. I didn't even realize till I saw the replay how close it was to a 3. So I was really excited from the beginning, you know, jumping up and down, and it just feels, like Coach said, it's relief, but also so much elation. Like that gold medal game I thought was so exciting, and I actually prefer it that way. It was so earned. Not that it's not earned every time, but to fight to get a gold medal, I think, is a really great feeling. So it felt amazing to accomplish that. And then again, surrounded by my family. I saw my daughter in the stands, my parents, my husband and his family, just to be surrounded by that and to accomplish something with Coach there too, it was really special.
Bridget, we all know how deeply proud you are of representing Canada. I know you guys fall short, don't make it to the knockout round, but what is just your vision for the future of Canada basketball, especially after the U17, U18 teams win silver in the recent World Championships, and just looking forward for Los Angeles too?
Yeah, really exciting time. I think, you know, coming from Tokyo, having experienced that, we were looking forward to Paris, but it was definitely kind of a change of the wave of Canada basketball. Like you mentioned, we have a lot of young talent that's kind of being introduced to the program at the age group levels and now kind of sprinkling into the senior team. So it's been fun for me kind of being the in-between, the veteran on the team now, but also connecting with the young ones and trying to be, you know, a leader and a mentor for them. So it's been a fun position for me to be in, and anytime I get the chance to represent Canada is always amazing. It's something I love to do, and this one was especially special because my parents were in the crowd, and I know they were very emotional watching me play, but it was really special.
I'm kind of overwhelmed. This is the closest I've ever been to an actual Olympic gold medal and a bronze medal too. Lan, you are part of this team, such a storied history with Australia in the Olympics, but you are part of the team that wins its first medal for the first time in 12 years. What was that journey like, and the pride that you all felt being on the podium?
Yeah, I think there is a huge legacy that Australian women's basketball players have left, and just the success that they've had on world stages at Olympics and World Cups. And I was really lucky enough to be able to play along with someone like Lauren Jackson, who was at the last time they won a medal, was at that Olympics. And so just trying to uphold that legacy. I know that it had been a while since we'd won an Olympic medal, but we've been successful at many, many international tournaments. And I think it's been a long time coming for us to get back on the podium. And so to be able to be a part of that success, and while also doing it with someone who has led the way in Australian women's basketball as well, was amazing. Like, I was just so grateful to be able to be a part of it, and also like with our young players coming through, like we had 2 really young players who performed really well. Like, it's just an exciting time to be a part of, and exciting to see where the future will go.
Cheryl, when you look at this experience, so much talk about the players' time on the court together, but that goes for you too. Obviously, you've been coaching them through the last Olympiad as well, the World Championships. You've been there, but what was the perspective for you to build those relationships with people you're used to scouting against and trying to take down?
Yeah, I mean, it was a journey, right? There's a lot of different personalities and them getting used to me and you know, my love for attention to detail. You know, sometimes great players think we don't need to do that. We're great players. And so trying to get them to buy into some of the ways that, you know, I wanted this team to be able to be successful, and takes a leap of faith, takes trust. That's why it was important that Fee was along. Fee was a bit of an interpreter at times, and you know what she means is, you know, but Fee just doing it. I was so proud of Fee and to be, you know, to be coaching the team and to be during the game also feeling pride. You know, like it was, you know, I know that's Fee. I watch her all the time, but to see her do it on that stage and to be so important to our overall success. That was one of the most meaningful things for me on this journey.
So, Fee, you were not just, you know, stat sheet stuffer, but also, you know, defensive stopper, interpreter as well. I mean, how do you embrace the feelings after this, knowing the legacy of USA Basketball in this organization, plus doing it alongside your head coach?
I feel like that's a loaded question. I don't know. We just got back. I think I'm starting to now kind of like digest everything and process. It was such like a long, you know, we really try to take it day by day, and that's something Cheryl really emphasized. It's like we're focused on the next game. We do the same thing with the Lynx, not going for gold, but it's really hard not to think about it in the back of your mind. And so finally accomplishing that and the emotions that went with it, and especially that last game, how stressful it was, just bringing it all down. Like after that, I think I just feel really thankful to have had the experience, especially with my family and especially with Coach as the head coach. You know, obviously there's a huge level of comfortability there, and I think Coach is the best one in the WNBA. So to have her to coach all these players, it was an amazing experience, and I'm really thankful that we were together for it.
Bridget, you had an opportunity to go directly up against Lan. What was it like in that international moment on the Olympic stage in Paris? I know we asked both of you before, and you were kind of still in that like compartmentalizing state of mind, but now that it's come and gone.
Yeah, it was actually really cool. The three of us bonded a lot before heading to the Olympics, and just talking about it, knowing we were going to experience similar things, obviously on 3 different teams, but how prideful we are representing our countries at that level, and knowing we were going to play against each other was interesting. We actually played against each other in an exhibition game like 3 days after we left Minnesota. But it was good to see such a familiar face, and like Cheryl was talking about seeing Mila every day at breakfast, I saw Lan every day at breakfast in the village. That's just the nature of, you know, the tournament. But it's so nice to see a familiar face and to know, you know, we're going to come back in this environment and have each other to lean on. Again, different experiences, different teams, but it was really special and fun to play against her. Good thing we weren't the same position. We didn't directly have to guard each other, but it was a fun game and just fun to experience it together.
Lan, with that bronze medal around your neck, I think it was started with the Boomers who said it was rose gold, right? That's how you're approaching it. How do you feel like this sets up for the future and the momentum for Australia basketball too, but also for your season here in Minnesota and how that fuels you?
Yeah, definitely. I think the sky's the limit for Australian basketball. We're already infiltrating the WNBA. And I think we've got a lot of talent already, like people coming into their prime. Like you saw some of that from Ezi Magbagor in the last game, having that 30-piece. Like she's a superstar. And like I said, we've got some really good young guns coming through too. And I think it's just exciting. Women's basketball is an exciting time to be a part of right now. I think Australian women's basketball is especially exciting because it's becoming global. Like we're appreciating global basketball, not just the WNBA. And we're getting a chance to see some really, really good international talent. And just being able to be a part of that is really, really cool. And I'm so excited for like our young players, like a Jade Melbourne or an Izzy Borlays, like coming through and putting their stamp on the basketball world. It's really cool. And in terms of the Lynx, like winning a medal at the Olympics is awesome. I think winning a championship in the WNBA will be the cherry on top. And I get to do it with these guys. Like, I'm not competing against them now. So I think that's the next goal. Like, that will always be the goal, is winning a championship. And this has just fueled the fire to keep on winning.
All right, we'll open it up to questions here from media here in person.
Hello, Kent Youngblood from the Star Tribune. I wanted to ask Alana, you talked a lot before the training camp started about your journey kind of here in the WNBA, about how, even with the national team too, about how it was all about getting a chance. When you think about the path you've taken and now to be on the all-5 tournament team, just how gratifying is it for you to have taken advantage of the opportunities that you finally got?
Yeah, I think in the 2 hours downtime that I've had since the Olympics is over, I've had a bit of time to reflect on that. And 2 years ago, I wasn't on a WNBA team. I'd been cut. I'd been cut from the World Cup team. And I had no prospects. No, I'm just kidding. But I was down in the depths. Like, I was pretty low. And now I'm sitting here with, like, in the company of greatness. I've won a medal myself. I'm on a great team in the WNBA. And I'd like, if you had have told me this was going to happen 2 years ago, I would think that you were lying. So I'm just so grateful for the opportunities that I've gotten, especially here in Minnesota and from Cheryl, because I would not have been able to do what I've done up until this point without those opportunities. And yeah, like, I always tell myself, you can never count me out. I'm always going to claw my way there one way or another.
I would ask either Bridget or Fee, your teammate, to have watched her kind of take that journey and make that, that huge leap. It's got to be pretty satisfying for you guys too.
Yeah, and that was like the sweetest little monologue ever. I love that. It's been so fun. I've so enjoyed playing with Lan. She's someone I really wanted on our team for this year because she's so hard to play against. When she was in Chicago last year, I remember distinctly when we would play them, how much of a battle it was, because she's an amazing finisher. I think I just said that in practice. Like, the way her ability to finish is so great, and she was tough on defense. She's really strong, and she fits into the Lynx perfectly. So I think it's been a perfect match, and I'm really glad that, I hate that you were feeling down in the dumps, but I'm really happy that you're on the upswing with us now. I'm glad you clawed your way to us.
Last question for Fee. Your path is a little bit different, first-round draft pick, out of UConn. You were on the Olympics last time, kind of learning your way. This time, big minutes. What's the next step for you in the kind of national team sense?
I hope I'm in LA 2028. I think World Cup is next in a couple years, right? We have camps every year, so when USA calls, I always answer, no matter what that looks like. Obviously, like you said, my role is different last time than it was this time, but no matter what it is, I'm going to step up and do what's asked of me by my coaches and teammates. And in the end is to win, and as long as we reach that goal, I'm happy with whatever role is asked of me.
Terry Horstman with the Next. This question's for BC. Obviously not the results that you wanted in the Olympic tournament itself, but when looking at Canada basketball, there's still a lot of young talent, a lot of young players, a lot of reason to believe there's an upward trajectory there. What were just some of the lessons from competing in the tournament and getting more experience with your Canadian teammates, and how do you think that will factor into the future?
Yeah, I think any experience is good experience. You can learn from the good times, you can learn from the hard times, and we experienced some hard times. It was an interesting 3 years since Tokyo. We got new coaching staff, kind of an influx of new players. So again, what I mentioned before, it was kind of a balance of veterans and new players who are experiencing the Olympics for the first time. But again, it's an exciting time, and I think for me individually, I'm stepping into that leadership role. Natalie Achanwa, who was here for a couple years as a Lynx, she has been that kind of veteran for us, and as she's on her way out, someone else needs to step into that role and kind of lead the way, and what it means to play for Canada, what it means to go to the Olympics. It's not easy to get to the Olympics. It's not easy to get to a World Cup. It's become normal for Canada basketball and for these countries obviously as well, but qualifying's hard. We barely qualified to get to Paris. So these are reminders that, things aren't going to be handed to us. We have to work every day in our individual environments to be the best players we can be when we get to these camps that are so limited in time. As everyone knows, we, got to our teams 10 days before our first game and had to kind of figure things out quickly, but everyone's in that boat. And so these are the lessons we're going to learn and hopefully be better for the World Cup in 2 years.
Chris Long from KSTP Television for Napheesa and Cheryl. You both acknowledged it a little bit, but there's a difference between being favored and being expected. And sometimes that's not fair to a team. You've both been on teams that were both favored and expected before this. How different is it when you mix in the feeling of joy when you reach that pinnacle with that somewhat feeling of relief that this is what a lot of people expected us to do?
I think it's good and bad. I think, obviously the expectation to win gold is the hardest thing to do in the world. You are literally the best in the world at that time, and to reach that is really, really hard. But it's amazing because it comes with the level of excellence that has preceded you before that, and to be a part of something that dominant is an amazing experience. It comes with a lot of pressure, and sometimes that is really unfair, but I think you do your best under pressure, and the expectation of that allows you to become an even better basketball player. It allows you to be in these situations where you're tested and you're playing against the best players in the world. And obviously there's going to come a day, someday, when the streak breaks. Hopefully it's way past after I'm done. But I think when you look back on what we have done, it is unmatched. And the fact that we've been able to stay this dominant for so long, the pressure is there because we've set that standard. So, like I said, the good and the bad with that, but I think being a part of something that dominant has been really special.
Hey, Cheryl. Jeff Williams, Sports Page Magazine. This question is probably not for anybody here in this room, but more of a greater WNBA audience. Early in the qualifying rounds, you were getting some criticism, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, for starting Diana Taurasi.
I don't want to, we're not going to do this, Jeff.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
If I could build on Chris's question, so from a coaching perspective, the word pressure, expectations, et cetera, I felt really fortunate that what we had with the Lynx sort of prepared me for, because we had expectations every year. We wanted those expectations, that's what we were built for. We were trying to win championships. It's hard to do, to be in 6 WNBA finals out of 7 years, to win 4 championships. And I think what we learned in that process was to enjoy each journey and how different each journey was. A journey is a season, and how different. And so for USA Basketball, I tried, maybe in terms of what I wanted for them was for it to be special and not feel the load of, we have to win the 8th. Because I think then it gets lost, your own special journey gets lost. And it was our one, like lock-in, this was our one time that we would have this group together, and we would never be together again. You're not going to have the same group the next time. Because I think if you don't do that, then you would lose the joy in what you're doing. So we tried. I don't know if it was effective or not, but I know that's what I tried to have. And you can't help but to be in the position of, this day and age, the criticism and everybody having a blank idea that, when do we talk about in TV broadcasts, all you're talking about is playing time and who's in or who's on the team or who's not on the team. This is what we've become. And so it makes this seat that I was sitting in, a little bit more challenging, a little less rewarding. And I think that's a sad commentary. And I'm really hopeful that, we can find our way going forward, that, the vitriol, et cetera, only hurts the game. And we can be much better than that.
TV folks. Oh, over here.
Were the opportunity to present itself, would you be interested in doing it again?
That's the other thing I'm not going to talk about. That's the other thing we're not going to talk about. This is a celebration of what just happened.
Hi, Taylor Rivera, WCCO Radio. For any of the players, you saw some support from some NBA players. LeBron was courtside, Derek White. I'm sure they've come to see you play before, but what was that like in France?
You guys want to answer that?
They weren't supporting us. So
No, it was great. You know, we were all staying in the same place, so the support from them was really awesome to see. Just the support, I think, across all of the USA sports. You saw athletes at all the events going to a bunch of different things. I think just the collective support of our country in general and of the games was really special to see. So them showing up for that game and showing up for 3-on-3 games, and I think the guys were at ping pong, like cheering their heads off over there. Just all across all sports, I think it was really cool to see the support.
Is it called ping pong in the Olympics?
Table tennis.
Yeah.
I have a quick question for Bridget. I actually happened to be in Montreal at the beginning of the Olympics, so I got to watch the Canadian coverage, and you had a really emotional interview after the knockout. And can you just describe what was going through your head in that moment and what it's like, just the meaning behind representing your own country and being part of that leadership of your team?
You're gonna make me cry again. I think that was after Australian game. That was an important game for us. We had lost to France in a tough game. We had a bad quarter. And then we were really excited for the Australian game. And it was a close game. It was competitive. Like, they had control the whole game, but it was competitive, and we had hope. Like, we were confident in our abilities. And after we lost that, it's hard. I mean, it's like the peak of sport, the Olympics, and you want to be able to perform your best. And it's like it's 3 years building up to this moment and just feeling like a little disappointment and just wanting to be better. That's what these emotions are still. But, I know, it's like all the emotions at once, especially coming off the court and feeling those heavily. But that's what this still is, and it's going to be a process.
Well, congratulations. I mean, just getting to the Olympics is such a huge deal, so a lot to be proud of. And then just one last question, Coach Reeve, how do you have this tight turnaround? You play tomorrow at home, a lot of expectations, you're seated third in the league. Just how do you get the team refocused and cohesive again after this break?
This is a great time to acknowledge our great coaching staff and thank Katie and Rebecca and EP for their really hard work. All the practices were recorded, and so, you know, I would kind of, before I'd go to sleep, it was like reading a book. I'd pop in our video and watch, and I am really excited because I know that when I got back that they would be ready. So today was my first day back. Their enthusiasm, I think they look like they had fun, as much fun as you can have, you know, when feeling like you're going to another training camp, so to speak. And I can tell you that when I got back here, I was excited to be with the Lynx team. And it's a very, very special team. And I think what our possibilities are is exciting. You know, we play tomorrow night, and we're ready to go. We're ready to go.
I have a question for Fee. Obviously, it's one thing to bring the best players in the world together on Team USA. It's another thing to coach them and then see consistent success. With that consistent success, what kind of testament is that to Cheryl and what she's done?
I think it's a huge testament. Like I said before, I think Cheryl's the best coach in the WNBA. And honestly, it's not an easy task because you have people who are the best players on all their teams coming to one team, and we have to focus ourselves for a goal in like 2 weeks. So to get that all together and to get people, especially with the pressure compacting on that, like I can't imagine, like we go out there and play, and I was telling Cheryl, when I'm sitting on the bench, like it's so stressful, I hate being over here. Like, so to manage that and like the pressure of everything, and then to get people together in 2 weeks to win a gold medal for the 8th time, I don't know, like, I know the coaches, all the work that they put into that is so much work. I'm just really thankful that I have someone who's as diligent as you and is such a good coach as you to bring these people together, because I know it could not have been easy. So thank you.
She's not even in a contract year. You know, she's...
We'll now pivot to the Zoom, starting off with Blake and then go to Willie.
Hey, Napheesa, this is Blake Sperdera from Blake's Take. Can you speak how talent pool globally has increased this year at the Paris Olympics compared to the Tokyo Olympics? Can you?
Yeah, I think every year the talent is just building and building, and you're seeing that. Lan mentioned earlier, especially in women's sport, just the level of talent rising and how it's so fun to be a part of that in this time. It was competitive. Every game was really hard. Every game was a fight. The way that we prepared for every game was like a gold medal game, because we could have, any of those we could have lost, just like in the W. The talent, there's so much talent that you can't take anything for granted. And, you know, that gold medal game was stressful. There was, you know, we were down by 10 at one point. It felt like more. And you could see the great players that each country has, the infiltrating Australians. Like the level of talent is just rising so rapidly, it feels like. And so it's really fun to be a part of, just seeing that, seeing it in real time. So it was really cool.
Thank you.
Willie?
Thank you. This one's for Fee. I actually just talked to BG and asked her about what it's like going from a week ago being friends to coming back, and now y'all have to play against one another. And she explained that, you know, you're used to that, be it trades or playing overseas. I'm wondering if while you're there, there's any trash talking between games, or after the gold medal was won, it's like, okay, now I'm coming back, I'm coming for you, or I'm coming for you. Is there any stories you can tell of conversations that took place about the second half of the season?
There actually is. I think when you get that many competitive people together, you can't help but like have trash talking. It's all really good natured. Like she said, we play overseas together. There's trades. The league is so small, you get really comfortable with everyone. But definitely, even talking about the first half, like little scuffles people got in, or, you know, talking about plays people made, things like that. We were talking about Ka shooting over us for that freaking shot in Phoenix, just everything. But once you're off the court, everything's really good natured. I don't think there's really any grudges. You know, we're competitive when everyone wants to win, and so it's fun to talk about that, and it's fun to come together and then go back to our other teams and get right back into it.
Thank you.
All right, I think that's everybody here. All right, I'll just reiterate again, the 4 women that you see here, no other WNBA team had more representation in the Olympics. We appreciate your coverage and tuning in. 8 million viewers for that gold medal game, and it's just going to continue to grow from there. So thanks so much. We're going to get a picture with them, and that'll do it. Thanks.